And this is one of my favorite movies too that I've done. It's Stuart Little. What was really great on that film that I got to learn how to design clothes for a CGI character. For a mouse that's only 4 inches tall, has the worst body I ever dressed, with no neck, no shoulders, tummy, and short legs and a tail. So basically you work with the proportion, you try to make it as human as possible. You make these little patterns, and these patterns get fed into the computer, and the computer sews it onto the maquette. So I never actually made any clothes in real. There's all kinds of new programs now that are super helpful and can even show you where are the red spots where something doesn't fit. Because what the director wanted is to really make the mouse look like it's completely human, and maybe it shops at the Gap. So it was the twill pants, the hoodie, his little backpack. I mean, look at that. This is just his little Giants t-shirt and his little soccer outfit.
Imagining where his shorts would hit on a mouse.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, it's very costly to build these. So using the patterns of the t-shirts to make a PJ, and from the pants you can make the shorts. So the shorts cuts that you can do. I mean, he was the most expensive actor I ever dressed. It was probably about $600,000. To build all in CGI. It's all these nerdy guys in the computer doing all the mathematics. Because it's the cloth guys, it's the aging guys, it's quite phenomenal. And getting something very simple and then bringing more notes. Make this a little bit lower. Bring up the pockets, slim it down. This is like the PJs. We had a bunch of PJs, and I also got to design the Margalo, which was this cute little date outfit, right? Also, like any dirt, I had to show them, like when he was working on the airplane, what kind of dirt he had, what his little paws maybe would look like. This is really interesting because this is a kind of a cool picture to show, the scale of the thread. So it can be 1-to-1, it can be his scale, so we have to find one that kind of looks not super doll-like, but to our eye has to look more, that is his scale. Mm-hmm. It's the mouse scale, as we called it. And then Bird's fashions too. This was really great to design her. And she had to be very feminine, so Amelia Earhart came and kind of we made the more into like a hair, like a bob, and the goggles became pink, because he fell in love with her, so she had to be very cute. But the scarf was very important too, kind of working with the CGI guys, how it flies and what the color is, what is it made out of. So a lot of communications, I mean, I cannot stress enough how much of that is part of, I think, creativity and creating all this.
If you were going to dress as a character for Halloween for Comic-Con, who would you go as?
Narissa from Enchanted. I just love her costume so much. It's one of my favorites. I mean, it was such an amazing film to work on because it was a 2D animation, it was live action, it was CGI characters, so they were morphing from one kind of medium to another. I mean, it was phenomenal. I got to work with the 2D animators at Disney, which is just a joy. I mean, these guys been there forever and just such talent, incredible talent. And I had to teach them a few things because they don't really understand gravity.
Why would
they can draw anything. I'm like, okay. So I actually was brought on this film very early to work with them to really kind of go, okay, the way that we have to design these characters, they're going to wear them in live action, and we're going to be in the middle of New York City running around. Again, talking about proportion, was so interesting on this one that we had to take these animated proportion of these tiny waist and big sleeves and big skirt and translate it into a human, so that dress was huge. I mean, Amy Adams was complete trooper because it weighed at least 35 pounds.
And also you have to work with her proportions. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. And comfort, and I mean, she had a little stool underneath the skirt that she could sit, and the way it was designed, it was in 2 pieces that we could take it off for her to take breaks in. We actually had 11 of these dresses because she was wet in it. We had a stunt girl hanging from the billboard. We had one small dress for her to come out of the real manhole in Times Square, which was quite amazing. It's a very stinky one. I love this dress. This dress was so much fun to do because it was collaboration with the production designer, choosing the fabric for the curtain, making sure that the color works. you know, it was an interesting conversation about, you know, is it a feminine fabric color, but we couldn't go too masculine because, you know, it's going to be worn by Amy Adams and her skin tone. So it was a lot of back and forth about that. And it was so important because, you know, we are here and it's Central Park. I mean, it's like Sound of Music. And here's my Narissa, you know, which you can see this quite amazing fabric that I made. So it's actually leather that's embossed. To preview kind of, you know, what's going to happen for her in the future. That was silver leafed and then painted with a French enamel to kind of give that oil slick feeling. You know, how it all translates, all the colors and textures from the 2D animation to the live action to her turning into the CGI dragon. I mean, so much fun, you know, to really work on all these levels with all the different artists, you know, from the 2D animators to my costume people who are making it, and then to the, you know, visual effects people who are creating the dragon and, you know, teaching them about the fabric and how the texture should be. And I'm so proud of that costume. You know, it was great because, you know, Disney takes all these costumes and puts them in a vault. And then they travel around different Disneylands and they own, you know, exhibits. So I've heard from friends from all over the world, I've seen your costume, you know.